Owen is a young man who teaches English literature at a private school. He lives with his family, consisting of his father, former Senator Tom, and his mother, a woman whose concern for her home and husband seems boundless. Although Owen grew up in a well-to-do family and received all the necessary opportunities for development, his relationship with his parents is not as simple as it may seem at first glance. Father is a man of rigid principles and high expectations, never hesitated to criticize his son for the slightest mistakes. The mother, on the contrary, tries to smooth out the tension in the house, trying to support both the father and Owen, despite the obvious differences between them. Owen's life goes his way with work, daily chores, and communication with his parents. However, beneath the outward stability lies a deep dissatisfaction with himself and his life. Owen lacks a sense of independence. He is tired of the constant pressure from his father, who, although retired from politics, continues to influence the family. Owen often feels like a failure in the eyes of his father, which becomes the cause of his internal conflicts. The mother, despite all her efforts, cannot change the character of her husband and help her son to overcome this barrier. One day in Owen's life suddenly bursts Emily, a young, freedom-loving girl with an adventurous character. Their first meeting takes place in rather unusual circumstances. Owen sees Emily on one of the streets of the city when she gets into an unpleasant situation. He decides to step in and help her, and this meeting becomes the beginning of their story. Emily immediately attracts Owen with her ease and independence. She lives her life the way she wants and doesn't answer to anyone. This trait of Emily instantly mesmerizes Owen, because she embodies everything that he lacks in his own life: freedom, looseness, and lack of constant control from others. They begin to spend a lot of time together, and Owen is quickly immersed in Emily's world, full of adventure and unexpected situations. Emily literally takes him into a whirlwind of events that is not always safe. But it is this danger, this sense of freedom from all obligations and rules, that attracts Owen. With her he feels like a different person, more determined, brave, and ready for new challenges. She awakens in him what has long remained suppressed under the influence of his father and his high demands. Owen begins to change both externally and internally. His confidence grows and he gradually begins to realize that he no longer wants to live the way his father dictates. He becomes increasingly estranged from his family, which causes conflict, especially with his father. Senator Peck cannot understand why his son refuses to follow the proven path of success and prefers to spend time with a girl whose ideas and way of life seem completely unacceptable to him. Tom Peck sees Emily as a threat to his son's future, fearing that she is taking him in the wrong direction. Owen's mother finds herself between two fires. On the one hand, she realizes that her son is growing up and looking for his own way in life, and on the other hand, she sees how it contradicts the principles of her husband, with whom she has lived for many years. The mother supports Owen, tries to smooth out conflicts, but the father's influence remains strong, and each new dispute only increases tension in the family. Owen sinks deeper and deeper into his relationship with Emily, and soon his life changes completely. He begins to challenge not only his father, but also himself. At one point, Owen decides to leave his job as a teacher to devote himself to something new, more exciting and free. This move causes a storm of resentment in his father, who has always been proud that his son chose a worthy profession and followed his example in terms of responsibility and success. Tom Peck sees this as a betrayal not only of family values, but also of everything he himself has worked for throughout his life. Emily continues to play a key role in Owen's life, pushing him to do increasingly daring things. Together they go on trips, take part in adventures, and even get into dangerous situations. This gives Owen a sense of freedom that he has always lacked. But at the same time the internal conflict is growing. Owen begins to realize that his actions not only violate the usual framework, but also jeopardize the relationship with his family. He is torn between his new feelings for Emily and his debts to his family, which still plays an important role in his life. The climax of the story comes when Owen is forced to make a choice between Emily and his family. His father openly demands that he return to his old life, stop his silly antics, and get back to doing serious things worthy of his position. But Owen is no longer the man he used to be. He has changed thanks to Emily, her influence, and the feelings she has awakened in him. He decides to go against his father's will, which leads to the final break between them. Senator Peck is disappointed and does not see his son as the man he always envisioned him to be. Owen's mother, although worried about her son, tries to support him in his choice. She realizes that his desire for independence and self-discovery is a natural part of growing up. Although she cannot change her husband's mind, she tries to keep in touch with her son and support him even when he is estranged from the family. The finale of the story shows how Owen, having realized his true desires and goals, takes a step into a new future. He is no longer the young man who lived at his father's behest and was afraid to go against the system. Now he is ready for the new challenges and risks that life with Emily brings. Although his relationship with his family remains strained, Owen finds the strength to accept the consequences of his decisions and live the life he wants. This story is not only about a romantic relationship, but also about the inner growth and changes that occur in a person when faced with real feelings and the challenges of life. Owen, through his connection with Emily, finds himself and learns to go against the expectations imposed on him by society and family. He decides to live the life he wants despite the risk of losing his father's approval and the comfortable life he is used to. This is his strength and his willingness to be himself, even if it means losing old ties. The movie touches deeply on the theme of self-discovery and independence, showing how love can be the catalyst for dramatic changes in a person's life. Emily, with her freedom and spontaneity, becomes the spark that awakens Owen's true self, causing him to re-evaluate his views on life and relationships. Owen chooses not an easy path, but it is undoubtedly his own.